I saw a film, like a little video thing where, what's this guy's name? Ziggler was on Nemeth, right? Mm-hmm. And then later on, Vince Russo came on. Okay. So I want to make a comment of, both of them. So you and him were going back and forth about, well, hasn't everybody struggled in wrestling to get to where they are? Not just Cody, and, do we have to tell the story now? I just feel that The Rock, to me, is a way more interesting story, and I'll tell you why, okay? Because The Rock is blood with Roman. We were supposed to do this last year, but he couldn't do it because of a movie. It isn't like he just jumped in, okay? And maybe he did, maybe he just said, this is hot, let me jump in right now. But, he's The Rock. He helped build that. So I think that, to me, it would have been way more interesting that The Rock said, I'm the final solution, or what name did he give himself? The final boss. Final boss. I'm the final boss. You'll do as you're told. And if not, you can get the out of here just to get heat as a heel. Because I'm not a big fan at all, bro. And I love The Rock, what he did in Memphis. Because he came there and he goes, I'm home. And then he says, I love you too, baby. I love you too, babe. How are people supposed to hate you if you're putting the place over? And then like, I talked to a lot of people backstage in WWE, bro, and there's heat on him because he's the only one that can use bad words. So everybody else is PG. You know what I'm saying? But,
it's a real quick sidebar here with that.
Right.
It's interesting because I heard when TKO took over,
right,
because they wanted the wrestling to be under the sports banner and they're still in the UFC, that they would be more apt to like using blood in language, the edgy stuff. Do you remember this? When TKO, like, that was I heard some whispers, like, that was a story, I think, that was actually, like, forwarded by somebody, that they had said that.
Yeah, and so let me continue with this. So I would have loved, Dave, if during this whole thing, like, Alpha and Sika and Rikishi and all those showed up and they took sides. That, to me, is a way more interesting story than him finishing his, and he could still finish it, next year. You know what I'm saying? But that's just my observation on that.
Well, a couple things for what you said.
Yeah.
Number one, and I even said that if you listen to the rant that I had on the Instagram,
right?
Like and I was like, I hate The Rock, and I was like, obviously in wrestling, like I don't hate The Rock as a person. People think I hate The Rock. Come on, I mean, the one thing you can't deny is the love and passion The Rock has for this industry, right, what The Rock gave to this industry. I'm talking about storyline wise and what's being presented on my TV.
Right.
Like that's what I'm talking about. And I think for the most part, people understand that.
Now, to you, Cody finishing his story is more interesting than The Rock and Roman because they're actually related.
I actually think they're two different stories.
Yeah, but which one is more interesting, whether they're different or not?
Well,
Cody one to you, right?
Well, but not to not answer the question, but I will.
Yeah.
I think they're both very interesting because, again, I think the head of the table and the tribal chief is completely different.
Yeah, but if you had to pick one, if they said, hey, Dave, which to you is more interesting, is going to make more money, Cody or Rock? The Rock and Roman or Cody and Roman?
Well, I think long term, it's gonna be Cody and Roman because how long is The Rock going to stay around?
Or younger, yeah.
Yeah, and Cody, I think, could be a face of this brand and this company.
Yeah.
The Rock is coming in, and again, at his age, I don't know how long he's going to stick around for. But I do think they're two different stories that are going to make big money for the WWE. I think the tribal chief and the head of the table, and then that undisputed WWE.
I'm just afraid that Rock's not going to be long enough because of the football league and, he's filming this Mark Kerr or Mark Coleman movie and who knows what else they have for him. It ain't like he can't make money. And we may only have him for this little time.
There's a perception too. The wrestling fans are very to me, this is a very interesting stat, is that the median age of the wrestling fan in the year 2024. Okay. That means half the people are above this age and half people are 52 years old. Okay. In 2000, the year 2001, that number was 28. Okay. So what we have is wrestling is not really acquiring a lot of new fans, but the fans like us will never get out of the habit. We've been watching forever. You'll never lose, your older fan base, because how do you break a 30-year, 40-year habit of watching wrestling? You can't do it, right? So what's happened is that because we have this base of people that have been watching wrestling for years out of habit, you still have a collection of people that stopped watching over the course of time and like lost the habit. The WWE right now has a lot of pieces of valuable assets that they can throw on TV and go outside this box and generate interest from those fans or people outside the wrestling bubble. The Logan Paul, the Bad Bunny, Pat McAfee, The Rock. Now it's like with TKO bought a $9 billion asset. It's one of the most expensive things that they paid for. So when I see them wanting to use they probably said, okay, we want The Rock and Roman. It's going to be huge, mainstream Rock and stuff. And then all of a sudden, the wrestling fans, the habitual wrestling fans, are like, wait a second, we've been invested in watching wrestling for 30 years straight, and you're telling this story to everything, and you really are going to bring this guy in and kind of ruin the story. So what you have is now, and I see this is the dynamic that's been created with The Rock going to Memphis and being a babyface. Is The Rock represents the kind of the outside fans that kind of they're not watching wrestling regularly, but he's interested now, so I'm interested. We're not interested in the stuff that you hardcore fans are interested in. Well, and I think that's an interesting dynamic. It creates a lot of controversy.
Well, I the one thing I've noticed, because I've run into a lot of fans, especially since this story started, and I've noticed that I've run into a lot of dads with their kids, where their dad is arguing with me about The Rock and the kids are on Team Cody. I've seen that dynamic a lot, where the 52-year-old man is rooting for The Rock, but his kids are rooting for Cody. That is something that's interesting to me, because that's why I feel going in that Cody's the way to go, because I feel like the younger fans are on Cody's side, where it's the older fans that have been watching for the last 30 years are rooting for The Rock. But you said something that's interesting that I completely agree with, is that for me, and I think you're probably going to disagree from what you just said, man, I don't know why that you have The Rock come out there on SmackDown on Friday in Memphis and play the babyface. Why are you doing that? All right.
Because I'll tell you exactly, and I thought of this, right? And I think I don't think me and Conan are discussing it, but it's a good time to discuss it. Is that, dude, he's not performing for those fans. He's performing for the people that know him from the movies and stuff that aren't really watching wrestling. He's putting content on that we're going to throw on YouTube, throw on TV. It's wow, and he's just going to entertain. The Rock is just going to go out there just to, he's not going to.
Bro, you don't have to turn babyface to entertain. No. He's already singing on a guitar.
Time out.
He looks like $1 million, but when you start confusing people that you're supposed to be a heel and saying, "Hey, I love you, baby," he said 3 times, dude.
And you know what you sound like? And you and Dave. Let me tell you exactly what you sound like.
I don't know what I sound like. I'm telling you what I think, what I saw, and now I'm expressing it to you.
Okay, I don't think that's
a good move. I'll tell you why.
Let me finish.
Yeah.
You sound like the fans that watched wrestling when Vince McMahon was in charge. Vince McMahon, that's exactly what Vince McMahon would be looking at. Why is Rock going out there being a babyface? Why?
Aren't those legitimate questions?
Okay, it is, but bro, TKO is an entertainment conglomerate.
Bro, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. I understand who they are, but let me tell you something.
You're looking at these completely different. Is what I'm thinking. You're looking at it.
Then why aren't you doing that on other storylines and blurring the lines so you're not sure who is a heel and a face? That's booking 101, dude. And I'll give you an example. Dave, listen to this. When I first started in Mexico, I used to go to it was called Toreo de Cuatro Caminos. They were out selling Arena Mexico, huge. That's where all the foreigners went, Inoki, Hogan, all those guys went to there. And I was a babyface, and the top heel there, his name was Connect, right? And every time they would send me home, because I didn't live in Mexico at that time, I'd be there a couple months and they'd send me home. He would turn baby faces when the foreigners came in. So when Coquina, who was Yokozuna, came in, or Big Bam Bader, he would turn heel. Then when I came back, he would turn face. I'm sorry. When I was gone, he would turn face against the foreigners. And then when I came back, he turned back heel and I was face. Bro, and it was hard to get heat on him because everybody loved him because he was fighting the foreigners and beating them, you know? Okay, and that's how I feel when I see something like The Rock do something like that. It makes it so much harder for the baby.
I'm going to put things into context. Just real quick, Dan, we're going to let you pick it up here. Conan, if you watch that promo, okay, I watch it twice, right? The thing. He's entertaining. They're showing the crowd. But what did that promo end at? The promo end, no crowd, just The Rock's face.
Right.
Zooming and him cutting a 2-minute heel promo, straight heel on Cody, and that's how it ended.
Why are you acting like a baby face and then acting like a heel 19 minutes later or whatever that said?
Doesn't matter. What if you?
I didn't find it that good, and I'm a big Rock fan.
I'm just saying that I don't think it hurts anything because he's still the heel in the story.
See, I'll say this is my best friend. He's not a wrestling fan, but you know he got caught up in it because I'm doing the show and The Rock came back. So he tuned into SmackDown on Friday. And I told him the whole story, like the whole thing with Cody and The Rock coming back and blah, blah, blah. He calls me up after that show. He goes, Dave, I thought you said Rock was a bad guy. I mean, what are you talking about? He's not a bad guy. He's a good guy. And I go, no. And they go, yeah, there's no argument to be had. First of all, on TV, millions of people watching. He called Memphis. He said, I'm home. Like you said, he's like, I love you too. I love you too. Like he said it 3 or 4 times. I love you too. I love you too. What about that segment makes me want to boo The Rock, makes me want to hate The Rock? How is that? I don't understand how that's good for business or what we're going to see at WrestleMania 40. Cody's the uber babyface. Man, you're making it tougher on him now. It's hard enough to go up against The Rock. I mean, the persona of The Rock. That's hard enough. And then I'm aware he's going to put a babyface role on top of it.
It's a great challenge for him, though. I
agree with Dave and Conan.
They shouldn't be challenging him like that. Why aren't they challenging other people like that?
But they try to take another step.
No, dude, you're making up excuses for something that's ridiculous. Yeah.
You're dealing, and even Cody said it. The Rock is a talent that's on the Mount Rushmore of professional wrestling right now. His face is up. You got 4 guys up there. Rock, Hogan, Austin, and Flair. All right, he's one of them. All right,
put bread on there.
Cody needs to Rock can't come in and be like just a lame version of himself. He's got to come in and be The Rock. And it's like if those guys can
in Memphis, like so when he goes to Miami, he's going to play the baby face. When he goes overseas, he's going to play a baby face. No, like everybody always says, it's more entertaining to play the heel role than the baby face.
And not only that, if a girl's telling you I love you, honey, it's very easy to say shut up. Shut up. Right, you know, and
I don't know.
Get a pop anyway, but he's
weird.
He's making it hard on the guys.
I don't think he wants to be hated. I think he wants to be loved. I think he's now in the story, and now he's like, you know what? I want to be loved. I want people to cheer me. I want to be loved.
That is a story.
That's a good point, Dave. Because
but that is a story.
But remember, Dave, remember,
it's a story.
They're not making it.
Maybe The Rock wants to be loved. And he just ain't going to be. I don't know. I just think that like the thing about it is like it threw me for a twist. I was entertained, and afterwards I didn't sit there and think like, oh, I think that was stupid of him doing a babyface promo. I didn't think that way. I thought it was. But like, I did. Just The Rock went.
So how many people thought like you, and how many people thought like me? As well?
And just go really quick. You know what the proof is? Where I feel like me and Conan, I think, are on the same page, and why we're right, and Fanny as well, is because. At the end of that promo, you said the last 2 minutes he was a heel and he was talking all that stuff about Cody's mom. How did that segment end? With the crowd chanting Rocky. Mm-hmm. Like, so after he just did a 2-minute heel promo on somebody's mom, you had 15,000 fans chanting for The Rock. That's the last thing you want this close to WrestleMania 40.
I would say, and the reason I would say that the reason you don't do that is because AEW's been doing that with MJF in Long Island, Britt Baker in Pittsburgh,
Bret Hart Canada.
Like you always see, but bro, that's kind of like a thing that just like I don't know. It's so infrequent. It's not a regular thing that I think will make it amount out of 1 week of television. Okay, but if it affects it this week, maybe we have a problem. But I'm looking at it as a 1 week thing. I didn't think. Go ahead.
Let me say about what Dave said about maybe, he says, hey, The Rock wants to be loved. That could be a whole thing because if you've followed The Rock before he came back, he got a lot of heat for the Hawaii thing with Oprah. And his latest few movies haven't done so great, especially the Black Adam, which he wanted to be the new centerpiece of DC. Maybe he's feeling the sting a little bit, like, ooh, maybe my popularity's, it could go down. I can't be a full bad guy because I'll turn more people off, like overall, and it's, going forward.
There's a lot. That's the thing. Yeah. We got the guy. You got the highest paid actor in Hollywood, and who would have thought that in 1997, 1998, that guy on TV was going to become the highest paid actor in Hollywood? But now you don't have that the 1997 Rock show. You've got the highest paid actor in Hollywood coming on a show, like a Logan Paul, like one of those type of characters. You know what I'm saying, bro? There's like the biggest problem we have with the younger fan bases is that they disrespect guys like me and Conan and stuff all the time because they never really watched us. It's been a while since we've been on TV like regularly. It's been like the late '90s. That's 25 years ago. I saw there was a thing. Somebody had the 20th anniversary of the Chris Jericho promo when he introduced the Rock. It's like, wow, it didn't seem like it's been that
25,
long. It has been that 25 years. It didn't seem like it's been that long. But it has been that long.
I feel like this is a completely other discussion and argument. But just because people didn't see you wrestle doesn't mean that gives them the right to be disrespectful. Like, I never saw Jim Brown play football, but the first time I ever spoke to Jim Brown, I called him Mr. Brown. Right. And, I never got to see Lou Thesz wrestle, but I know and I respect who Lou Thesz was. Like, just because they didn't see you wrestle doesn't mean that gives them the right to be disrespectful. That's just my thing.
Let them know that.
Everybody's very disrespectful behind a keyboard and on.
I mean, who would think that I would go come on a show? We review Dynamite. I say some things I like. I say some things I don't like. Two of the things I don't like go viral, and my feed is filled with people calling me a jobber, irrelevant. It's just what if you ever had a match?
Or just wishing terrible things on you. Yeah,
you should hear what they say about me now. Like, I'm a Cody fan. All right, so I'm a Cody fan. Like, I'm a Cowboy fan or whatever fan. The things that people say because I'm a fan of Cody Rhodes. Like, why? What's wrong with?
I bet you probably even think, Dave, you're not a real fan if you're insulting me like this. I wouldn't insult you because you liked a certain guy.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, I don't understand. But I get labeled and I get ridiculed because I'm a fan. Are we supposed to be fans? Like, oh, you're a Mark. Oh, okay, I'm a Mark. I mean, I'm a fan. Like, I have no excuses for that.
Like, I'm a Mark for the Boston Celtics, bro. Huge Mark for University of Miami Hurricanes. Yo, what's up? I just want to thank you guys for watching this clip. Don't forget to hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe. And join our YouTube membership for hours and hours of exclusive, unedited, uncensored content. And being a member will help you get involved in our upcoming live streams. Thank you for your support. Thank you for riding with us. I know you got a lot of other podcast choices, be it wrestling or other ones. And thank you for picking us. Boom.